Hey friends, welcome to 1 Minute with Monée, a podcast where we help busy adults live life with balance and harmony 1 minute at a time. I'm your host Monée, owner of Time Managed LLC, a full-service concierge and personal assistant business in Atlanta, Georgia. Visit our website, timemanagedllc.com, for more information about our services. Every week, I'll share tips for how you can manage your lifestyle and tackle your to-do list efficiently. Before we get into our discussion, let's listen in to our quick tip for the week. Hey friends, welcome to another edition of 1 Minute with Monée. Today we're going to talk about moving. Now, most moves happen during the summer months, so if you are moving this summer, now is the time for you to prepare. I have a few quick tips to help you make it seamless and streamlined so you're not overwhelmed or stressed. Number one, always create a plan. So set your move date and then work backwards to schedule time for your purging, purchasing quality packing supplies, make sure you have time to pack the boxes, and then of course, ultimately make the move. Number two, go through your plan and decide where you want to outsource. So you can hire somebody like me in my business to help coordinate all of your move from beginning to end, or you can outsource pieces of the process. So you can hire an organizer to help you purge. You can have an estate sale company come in to sell all of the items that you may not be taking to that new house, or you can hire a moving company. They will pack and or transport all of your items. So learn more details in my full episode of this podcast. You can catch me on all of your favorite platforms. Until then, be well and be balanced. Hey friends, welcome back. I am so excited to tackle a topic that affects everybody at some point, and that is the topic of moving. I have moved 4 times over the last 8 years. And so every time I move, I say I'm going to get a little bit better with purging and organizing and not moving any junk into the next place. But it never fails. There's something that always happens where I'm rushing at the last minute. But I am here today to share with you my tips for making things smooth and easy. Not only have I experienced move for myself, but it's something that I have coordinated for some of my clients. So whether you are moving across town or across the country, I know that the process can be so overwhelming, but don't worry. I've got you covered. We're going to talk about tips on purging, packing, outsourcing, and even estate planning to make your move as smooth as possible. So let's dive in. There are a few facts that I want to share with you first about moving. And around the world, around 40 million Americans move every year. An individual in the U.S. is expected to move 11.4 times in their lifetime. Summer moves take place typically, or approximately half of all moves take place during the summer months. So that's May through September. So I'm giving you this information right now because it is prime time, high season for moving. And the most popular months for moving are June, July, and August. Moving is absolutely stressful. You don't have to look very far to hear how stressful moving can be for people. And it's a lot of time, effort, and energy that is required that goes into a move. And those are the things that make it a little bit more stressful. The things that I want to talk about today are going to be around purging, around packing, outsourcing the move. And there's little things that you can do along the way to outsource, whether it's hiring an organizer or hiring someone to actually come and pack and move you. So you really don't have to do anything, but make sure that they're packing all the things that you want them to move. And then where do you get all the moving supplies? If you're going to do this on your own, what are some of the things that you may need to make sure your move is successful as possible? So let's jump in. The first thing that we're going to talk about is purging. So before you even think about packing, purging is key. Moving is the perfect time to declutter your home and to start fresh. And the things that I like to do in order to purge efficiently is to start early. Give yourself at least a month to go through all of your belongings. And this can include things that are still in boxes, maybe from your last move, or things that you pushed in the back of the closet and you have forgotten about. When you are purging, think about things that you have not touched or looked for or worn in the last 6 months. And if you haven't, then consider donating it or tossing it. You can also sort things into categories. So if you are trying to get rid of things, you can have a keep, donate, sell, and discard piles. Or if you're just trying to organize and put things in their proper place, you can categorize by where those things belong in your home. Also, documents are the bane of my existence. I have a lot of papers. I save everything, but one of the things that I know is very helpful, and one of the things that I'm doing now, is taking advantage of scanning documents and uploading them into a cloud storage platform. You don't need to keep papers, physical papers, and even if you do not have a scanner at home, there are services at Staples or FedEx where you can take your documents, scan them, and they will be uploaded into the online storage company of your choice. This is a really easy way to discard of your documents. And while you're there, they also have a service where you can shred your documents. So if there's sensitive items that you do want to keep, you'll have them stored in the cloud. And then once you want to get rid of those documents, you can shred them right there. You can shred them, of course, in your home if you do have a shredder, or there's actual companies that come to your house that will shred right there on site. And I've actually done that for a client, and it's worked out really well because it saves you time. You don't have to go anywhere, and it gets the job done easily, quickly, and efficiently. Now, one of the things that I recently coordinated for a client is an estate sale. So coordinating that was really easy, honestly. I went and I called different companies. They came out to assess the property to see if the items that the client had were going to be of value and if it would be a lucrative sale. So they will come in and organize, they will tag, they will set up your entire home for the estate sale. Estate sales are not only for if someone passes away, or if you are moving an elderly family member into, let's say, a long-term care facility, you can use estate sales at any time. People use them if they're getting divorced, or if, of course, if someone passes away. But if you are moving from one home to another and you have stuff to get rid of, people will buy anything, and an estate sale company will come in, tag the items, get them sold, and all you have to do is split the profit with them. Different companies will split the profit in different ways: 60-40, 50-50, 70-30. So whatever you think is worth it to you, it may be beneficial for you to look into an estate sale company. The only thing I would caution with that is to have a plan for the items that don't sell. So are you going to just get rid of everything? Do you want the company who is coming in to do the estate sale to handle the removal of it? They can donate the items. They can hire a company to come in and remove everything and dispose of it. But that is also part of the process of an estate sale. And it's so easy and efficient. And at the end of the day, you know that you're only keeping the items that you truly want, or that you are definitely sure that is moving with you into the next space. Also, another way to outsource with the purging aspect of your move or preparing for a move is if maybe you need help with purging or organizing or sorting, you can call an organizer to come in and help you with that. Now, they may be a little, pushy because they're pushing you to make sure that you are getting rid of the things and staying and being committed to what you have said that you wanted to do. So if you need that kind of strong arm to come in and help you with the purging, then definitely outsource with a professional organizer. Now, for packing, you can pack like a pro, or you can, again, outsource it. So once you've purged, it is time to pack smart. So my tips for packing, number one, is to label everything. So you can use color-coded labels for different rooms. This can be as simple as also just using a marker to write on the box of where the item is going to go into your new home, labeling it with contents, like what is in this box. So although it might go in your bedroom, is this, are these items that are in the box, are they items that should go in your drawers, or are they, papers for your office? Being a little more specific, you will not only know what room the item should go in, but you will also have an idea of the contents of the box. When you are packing, make sure that if there are any things that you will need immediately, like toiletries, chargers, changes of clothes, that those are perhaps packed in a suitcase or something that you know that you can get to quickly and you don't have to search for where the item is. Even if the boxes are labeled, having a suitcase full of your essentials for those first couple of days or even a week into your new home can be a game changing. Also use sturdy supplies. There's nothing worse than getting your items packed into a box and it breaks or all of your items fall out because it wasn't taped properly. So make sure you have sturdy boxes. Make sure you're using bubble wrap and good packing tape. And all of these supplies can be purchased from a company such as U-Haul. There's also companies such as Granger or Uline that sell packing supplies for businesses. And so these items are high quality, they're very sturdy, and they are used for items that people are used to shipping or for moving. So they're going to be the high quality that you need to make sure that all of your items stay safe and are not broken when they arrive to your new home. Now, again, thinking of wrapping fragile items, there's all sorts of things that are used today that are manufactured to make this part a lot easier. So there are boxes that have different types of cushion or bubble wrap in them for your plates or for glasses. Also, if you have a television, there are boxes or kits that come so that you can pack your television or artwork, things like such as mirrors that you want to take extra care to make sure that they're not damaged or broken again when they arrive to your new home. Make sure that you have all of your electronics labeled. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of how you set up the item so that it's easy for reassembly. Make sure your cords are with the item, perhaps labeling them or taping them to the item. And there have been instances where I have not been able to find cords, and I'm thinking, okay, where is this cord? It has to be around here somewhere. But making sure the items stay together. The best way to do that is to label or to tape them to the item. The next segment is about outsourcing the move. So let's talk a little bit about outsourcing. I talked about estate planning. I talked about an organizer. You can literally have somebody pack your items in your home, load the truck, unload the truck, and unpack the items. If you have that in your budget, that is the easiest, most efficient, the largest way to outsource is just have them come and do everything. However, you may not have that in your budget and you may not want to spend your resources that way, but you can outsource in other ways. Maybe not outsource the full process, but outsource in perhaps the packing part of it, because you can have a professional packing company come in and they can pack up your exercise equipment properly. They can pack up your electronics and all of your fragile artwork, and they will do it professionally. So you won't have to worry about if anything breaks or if you're doing it properly. Are you protecting your items? Because they will do it for you. Also, whether you are moving locally or long distance, literally they can handle the heavy lifting. So the furniture, packing up the truck, moving the items again and unloading the truck to your new home. And hiring professional movers, they can make sure that everything arrives safe and sound because they do this every day. That's why they're professionals. You can also think about renting a storage unit. So if your items are not ready, you can also rent a storage unit if your home is not ready. And again, outsourcing someone to help you move your items from your current home into the storage unit and then from the storage unit to the new home. There are companies that will actually pack up everything into a pod. You can move that pod to the new place, or you can have them store it for a little bit and then deliver the pod where you need it to go at the time that your home is ready. Or you can also outsource using a concierge service, such as Time Managed, and we'll coordinate everything from the packing to the unpacking to getting everything moved, of course, the estate sale, if that's what you choose to do. But don't underestimate the ways that you can outsource, and you can do it with any budget. No matter how big or small, there are little things that you can do along the way to outsource. You just have to be resourceful and think about the ways that you can utilize services that are out there to make your move a lot easier, and it'll make this whole process less overwhelming, less stressful. There are also some other resources that I want to mention for moving supplies. So you can go to local stores such as grocery stores or liquor stores. They give away boxes for free. Also in your neighborhood or Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, they also have people who maybe they're giving away moving supplies and boxes for free. So check out your online marketplaces. Nextdoor, if you're a member of that platform, you can also either inquire about moving boxes if anybody has any laying around, or even look out for posts where people are giving them away. Also, moving companies. So if you've ever been inside of a U-Haul, there's a little corner of the store that shows where People have donated boxes, so you can pick up boxes for free there. Potentially, there's some discounted supplies if you book their services at different moving companies. Also, don't underestimate using reusable plastic bins instead of cardboard boxes. So I used bins in my last move heavily, and it was just a lot easier. I could also use them for storage after the move if there were things that we were going to keep in the bins or if that were seasonal. And it's just a great way to stay organized and to also have a reusable option for storage. So a few things before we wrap up. My final moving tips are really around like staying organized and making sure everything on your list is completed. So a few things that I want to make sure that you do is to confirm your moving dates, double check with the movers, double check with your landlord if you're moving into a rented, if you're moving into a rented home, update your address. So notify all of your banks, any subscriptions, utilities, things of that nature. Also take an inventory. Pictures are great. Keep a checklist if you can of everything that you packed. Also, when you do take the pictures, you can upload them into a nice folder on your phone or on a computer. And then when you're done, make sure you celebrate. I'm big on celebration when we reach these milestones. So once you are settled, take a moment to enjoy your new space. And if you followed what I said about purging, you know that the items that are in your new home are only the things that you want and that you need. And so that's all the more reason to take time to celebrate. Well, that is it for today's episode of 1 Minute with Monée. If you found these tips helpful, please make sure that you subscribe and check out my blog at timemanagedllc.com. Until next time, happy moving. Thank you for joining me this week. Let's continue the conversation on social media at 1 Minute with Monée on all channels. Also, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Until next time, be well and be balanced.